I'll go ahead and get started. So I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I won't see you on Saturday and Sunday. I hope you have some great time with your family, and it's a great experience for everybody. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Hey, do you guys get any extra time? I know it's tough, obviously.
No, we'll get probably a little bit Christmas Day, but other than that, it's just a normal week for us.
What was so successful against the Bears with the defensive line?
Uh, I think the guys executed the game plan very well. Um, obviously, having Mike and Dalvin inside was a big difference for us because they were able to, knock their interior guys back, and make the back have to bubble quickly, in the run game. And then I thought the guys did a really nice job with the rush plan, and again, the interior guys walking the inside guys back on his feet, helped him stay high to give the ends a chance. And, not just the 3 sacks that we had, but we had good pressure on him to make him feel uncomfortable. So I think it was just a matter of us executing the game plan well, really helped us out.
What's kind of the difference as you go to build a rush plan for the rookie that you haven't seen versus Stafford, whom you've seen so many times?
Well, I really don't think it had to do with, him being a rookie and Stafford being a veteran. It's just different styles of play, he's more of a runner, athletic, uses legs, where Stafford is your true, don't take me wrong, he will run, but he's your true pocket passer with a strong arm that knows where to go with the ball. So it's a total different animal.
Are there any differences, I guess, that you see in Stafford with the Rams versus the Lions, or how are they using him differently?
No, they're using him exactly like they did, in Detroit. The thing is he can make any throw. He's got a strong arm that can make any throw. He's played a lot of games, so he's seen it all. He knows where to go with the ball. So he's a tremendous challenge for us.
What are you seeing out of DJ Wanham the way he's been coming on?
I think he gets better every week, and again, it'll go back to what I always say, it takes time. It's a process, and especially when you bring guys in that are not high draft picks, they have to learn, how to play like a professional in the run game and pass rush wise. And I could see it coming with DJ, week after week. And the funny thing about it, before the game, I told him, you're going to have a big day today. I could feel it just from watching him play and watching him practice. And then after he got the second one, I pulled him over and said, go get me one more. Go get one more. You'll put your name on the map if you go get you one more. And he went and got it. So, I just think it's the beginning for him. He's hungry. This won't go to his head. He'll continue to grind and get better. And, that's what you want to see.
Did it change much when Breland gets released and what you ask of Cameron Dantzler in that situation, like having to scramble at the last minute?
No. I mean, it really wasn't a scramble because, the majority of the week, Dantzler was getting the majority of the reps because he had, some injury issues. So it really wasn't a scramble or anything like that, and it didn't change our plan at all because, Cam was taking the majority of the reps during the week anyway.
What happened with the shot?
That's between the organization and him. I'll just leave it at that. So the organization made the best decision for the football team. That's the best thing I can tell you. So made the best decision for our football team, and you move on and you get ready to go.
Andre, you've got to be happy with the sack numbers, but you're also the first to tell us that that's not everything. It's more about pressures. How do you feel about the way that you've produced pressure without Daniil or Everson?
All right, the guys have done a really good job with that. I mean, I think we've done a really good job with quarterback pressures and making the quarterback feel us and making him uncomfortable. I think we've done that, week in and week out. And I think the thing that shows is how teams have gone to more of a, max protection type of deal in second half of games, keeping a tight end and a back end to make sure that the quarterback feels comfortable, And so as you watch a game, if they're getting 5 out, all the time, that tells you that they're not worried about the other team's pass rush. But when they are taking the tight end and having him stay in or chip his way out, or taking the running back and have him chip his way out, which we got again on Monday night, I mean, that tells you that the D-line is doing what they need to do as far as making the quarterback uncomfortable.
You seen Sheldon get more and more comfortable, I guess, as you've seen him play more on the end there?
Yeah, he gets more comfortable every week. His natural ability comes out every week, playing out there. And, he's made some big plays for us out there. And, it's unusual. It really is unusual for you to take a defensive tackle and have him go out and play defensive end and be as productive as he's doing. So, I have a lot of respect for Sheldon, for number one, being willing to try to do that, and to number two, to embrace it and run with it and try to perform very well at it. So he's done a good job so far.
How much of a balance is it though? Zim said maybe trying to pull him more inside on some of those third downs. Like, how do you have to balance wanting to use him as an end, but also knowing that in those obvious passing situations, maybe trying to put him inside more?
Yeah, it just comes down to week to week of me trying to figure out the best matchups. Is it better to let him stay out on the defensive end in nickel situation because of what tackle he's playing against and what kind of player the quarterback is? Or is it better to, bump him back inside because of the guard he's going to be going against and the type of player, quarterback that we're playing? So each week, when he first moved in there, he still rushed inside in nickel. So each week is kind of changed based off of who we're playing.
Andre, I know he's not on your radar now, but as someone who's developed a lot of, great defensive linemen, when you watch Aaron Donald play, what are your thoughts on his skills?
He's a great player. To me, he's got a little bit of a combination of John Randall and Leroy Glover. He's got Johnny's quickness and ability to transition from move to move. But then he's also got the ability for a guy that's not very big to hit you with power, and walk you back to the quarterback. So he's a tremendous player. He's the best three technique in the league. He's special.
What part of Glover did he have?
Well, Glover had that explosive power for a 285-pound guy. Glover usually beats you off of power and then transition to an edge, where Johnny's was quick edge to edge, quick spin outside, quick spin inside, so Aaron has the ability to give you a little bit of Johnny and a little bit of Glover.
It seems like, for years, like around draft time, it's like everybody's looking for the Johnny Randall motor and all this stuff, but nobody ever had it. Now, is this maybe the only guy that you've ever seen that might have?
I wouldn't say he has Johnny's motor. I said he's got his skill set. That's two different things. He's got his skill set. And when he came out of Pitt, that's what I said. I said this guy has John Randall's skill set. And a lot of people were afraid because he only weighed 282 pounds. But he's proven, that he's strong and he can hold up at that weight and he can hold up in the running game at that weight. And, he's proven to be the best three technique in the game today.
Andre, what do you think of Eric Kendrick's ejection? And when you see a veteran like that get ejected, is that used as a teaching point this week at all, anything?
Well, it's hard. Number one, I understand the penalty, okay? So I'm not saying anything against the penalty. I understand the penalty, even though Eric didn't try to hurt the guy. The ejection part of it was the part that surprised me. I can accept the 15-yard penalty, but I didn't think it went to the point to where he should have been ejected from the game.
With the constant evolving rules and moving goalposts for defenders, it just seems like it's impossible to play defense in today's NFL, where everything's skewed towards protecting quarterbacks, and Tom Brady comes out and probably is going to get a rule change because he said don't go for receivers' legs. How do you have to constantly within the rules, teaching them adjustments and things that might get called differently week 1 versus week 16?
Well, it's hard. It is. So like the point you just brought up. Okay, well, you can't hit him here to here, right? Then if you say you can't hit him in the legs, so where do you tackle him? Where do you tackle him? If you go back and you look at this game in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you didn't see all these balls being thrown in the middle of the field. Okay, down the field in the middle, you didn't see it because the receiver knew if he came across the middle like that, he was going to get his head knocked off. And the quarterback knew not to put his receiver in harm's way like that. Well, now there's no fear of throwing that ball in the middle of the field. The quarterback has no fear of leading his receiver in there, and the receiver has no fear of going in there. Because if you hit him, it's probably going to be a penalty because it's a bang-bang play, you know. So that's why the DB decided to tackle him low, because that's the only part that he can hit him and know that he wouldn't get, number one, 15-yard penalty, number two, maybe an ejection, and definitely a FedEx on Tuesday from the league with a fine. So that's what makes it hard. I mean, it's like sacking the quarterback. You got just a little bitty sweet spot that you can hit the guy, and you can't land on top of him. So it makes it real difficult in the course of the game to play, with emotion and to play physical and to play hard when you have to be under control on how are you going to tackle somebody.
How did the guys respond to Kendrick's having to go to the sidelines?
It was nothing big. You just move on to the next guy, and he goes in and plays. It's like an injury, So, you call the next guy, go in, he go in to play, and you just keep moving.
Last couple?
Andre, with Fields supposedly taking a knee, didn't look like he came close to getting his knee down. But even if he did, was the play already too far into the play, even if he had put his knee down, for Lynch to stop?
Well, there was no whistle. In the NFL, what tells you to stop is the whistle. In college, if you saw his knee go down on the ground, they all been taught to stop. High school, knee goes down on the ground, the play's done, it's over. In this league, it's the whistle. So no whistle was blown. So he had the ability to put his knee on the ground, pop up, start running, and still throw the ball. So if he had done that, we're all yelling at James Lynch, why did you stop? So to me, the biggest problem is they never blew a whistle. So how does James know to stop? So that's the hard part for me.
The Rams are another big motion team. You faced a lot of teams that like to use a lot of motion, Baltimore, San Francisco. Does it ever get easier to sort of defend against that, or is it always advantage offense when teams like to do that?
I wouldn't say it's easier. I think the thing is, obviously we've had practice at it. So that's the part that helps you. We had the same thing last week, with Chicago. They were big with the motions and the rockets and the flashes. So, we had to practice that all last week too. So that helps you that it's not brand new for the guys practicing this week because we've had to go against it. It's still difficult to defend because you have to train your eyes to stay in the right place. And train your body not to overmove. That's part of what happens is you start to move, but then you overmove. Now you're in a bad position to be where you're supposed to be. So it's a fine line between, okay, I start off outside shade of the tackle, and then he rockets across, and I'm supposed to go to outside shade of the guard. Well, now I move too much, and I end up inside shade of guard. Now they have us out leverage. So that's part of it, is that, keeping your eyes in the right place and making sure when you stop moving that you line up in the correct place that you're supposed to be. So that's the difficult part with it.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thanks.